So here we are live on the YouTube Legal Creative channel for this live global event. I am glad to have with me live from Hungary, right? Is this Hungary?
Yes,
Hungary?
Hungary, Budapest.
On Budapest, Orsolya Görgényi, who is here live with us. She is an extraordinary lawyer with a lot of experience as a lawyer, but also as a strategist, as a public speaker. She's done a tremendous work in order to understand better the challenges and the opportunities for new generations of lawyers, for young lawyers, and she will be speaking a little bit about that and how you can seize those new opportunities as lawyers. So Orsolya, without further ado, I will leave you the entire stage for you.
Thank you very much, Tessa, for the kind introduction, and thank you for joining me live on Legal Creatives. It's fantastic to be here. I am Orsolya Görgényi from Budapest, or proper Hungarian pronunciation, it would be Orsolya, but nobody calls me that. I am a lawyer based in Budapest, as Tessa said, and I am also a law practice management, legal tech, and public speaking enthusiast. And I love everything which relates to skills, career, innovation, leadership, and learning. So let me start with a journey back in time. 1975. Imagine a world where you need an appointment with a professional photographer to pose for a photo, where it takes days until you can actually see the developed picture. No smartphones, no digital cameras, no chance to take dozens of pictures to see if one is okay. A single company dominates the market, both for film and for camera. It is Kodak. And in this world, a young engineer, mere 24-year-old Steven Sasson, invents digital photography, the process that allows us to capture images without film, and to display them without paper. Did this invention disrupt the industry? Absolutely, but not then and there. It took several decades until it turned the world upside down and almost ruined the company which had been dominating the market for over a century. Now, what is particularly sad about this story is that the technology which almost killed Kodak was born at Kodak. Sasson worked for Kodak and they owned the patent for digital photography. But they themselves consciously decided not to put it on the market. Instead, they wanted to continue with their lucrative business model of selling cheap cameras and expensive film. But the patent expired in 2007, and 5 years later, Kodak filed for bankruptcy. Now, this is a story that we know, but why did I share this with you? Well, according to a joint survey of AIJA and the CCBE, the AIJA is the Association Internationale des Jeunes Avocats, the only global association of young lawyers, and the CCBE is the Council of the Bars of Law Societies of Europe. We've made a survey together on the future of the legal profession, and according to 60% of the responding young lawyers, all below 45, which is the age limit for Asia, 60% of the respondents said the biggest threat to the legal profession were lawyers themselves. Not alternative service providers or robots replacing humans or just predictive justice. No, lawyers themselves, their resistance to innovation. Well, this attitude may be explained by various reasons. Well, simply the fact that we are lawyers and as such suffer from the typical lawyer mentality. We tend to be perfectionists, skeptical, and autonomous. And while these traits may make great lawyers, they make it particularly difficult to change, lead, and innovate. Lawyers completely lack the high-tech mindset of make it, launch it, fix it if there's a problem. The second reason for this resistance may be simply the lack of imagination. Maybe we don't see the change coming. But I didn't believe anyone would ever want to watch pictures on a TV set. We are also not able to work or think outside of the box often. Henry Ford said that if I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said, faster horses. The third reason for this attitude, resistance, may be simply short-sightedness. Sasson estimated 15 to 20 years for the digital camera to be able to compete against the analog one, so no wonder corporate leadership was not that enthusiastic about such a distant future. So past success may make us also complacent and reluctant to change the business model that has served us so well in the past. There is a famous Richard Susskind quote which I love. It's hard to convince a room full of millionaires that they've got their business model wrong. But opposing innovation due to whatever reason may have disastrous consequences. Yet, the majority of law firms have not yet taken measures to meet the challenges. Although they are aware of the changes in the market and in the new technologies. But the lawyer mentality and the corporate culture are extremely difficult to change. And this is the biggest threat to law firms, and at the same time, the biggest chance for alternative providers, for all the legal creatives, hopefully also you who are sitting in front of the camera, who are bold enough to innovate and to help clients do the same, including lawyers. Now, so let's move on. I promised in the trailer to address three questions, which was, let me start with this. How many, well, that's not a good question because I won't see if you raise your hands, right? So, do you have a power drill? You know, this very handy machine with which you can make holes in the wall? I have one. Well, this machine will be used maybe 15 minutes in its entire lifetime, including mine. We could talk about the benefits of sharing economy and what lawyers could learn from that, but let's do it another time. So Black & Decker manufactures and sells power drills and also other power tools. And usually when there are young or new colleagues joining the firm, then their CEO has a training and asks them what they think, what business the company is in. The employees usually look puzzled and they just say, well, we are selling drills. And then the CEO says, no, what we are selling are not drills, but we are selling the perfect hole in the wall. So what business are you in? Well, some of you may be sole practitioners or attorneys in a law firm. Ethical standards differentiate lawyers from other businesses, and we also have a duty towards society and have a responsibility in administering justice. But after all, law is a business and we should run it like a business, which was lawyers can do. So what business are we in? Providing legal advice? Or is it rather delivering legal solutions? The same question goes for the legal tech community and other legal creatives. What business are you or will you be in? Selling a specific tool or selling the solution to a problem? Well, what exactly is the service or the product that add value to your specific offer? Why shall the potential client choose you and not someone from the competition? What is unique about you? Sales people usually use the term UVP or unique value proposition. If you are unsure of the answer yet, it's worth considering the hedgehog strategy. These little animals with the spikes, they are brilliant at making themselves in a little bowl with the spikes all over the place. Nobody can beat them at that. That's their sweet spot. So if you want to find your own sweet spot, try to imagine 3 circles intersecting. One circle is, each of them are representing different skills that you have. So one would be, let's say, law, because we are legal creatives, so we must have something with the law. The second may be, for some of you, technology or organizational development or business consulting, for example, in my case. The third circle, intersecting with these two, may be more tricky to figure out, because it may be any specialization or anything that you feel passionate about, or something which, may be a little bit further away from the other two. It may be connecting people or spreading ideas or teaching, public speaking. Well, if you find this intersection of these 3 circles, that's your sweet spot, and that's where nobody can compete with you. Now, when you figured out what is unique about your business, what that you're doing, then there are still 2 more questions to consider. According to Paul Sloan, author of the book, The Innovative Leader, the next question is, what do customers really value? Client-centered communication, enhance your soft skills, predictable pricing, you need to capture data to be able to predict, and immediate solutions, ideally upon pressing the button on your smartphone. Well, in case of lawyers, the good news is that there are still many clients, and there will be, who value a trusted boardroom advisor, an expert with knowledge or just in general expert knowledge and professional secrecy and trust will always be in high demand, and regardless of digitalization and automation of the profession. This is what also Jaap Bosman, a friend of mine and author of The Death of a Law Firm, said. His message to law firms is to invest in technology to become more efficient and get rid of all the boring stuff, repetitive issues that you could outsource, and develop human skills for lawyers instead. Now, in case of companies, tech companies and other legal creatives, many of your clients are law firms. So what do law firms want? What do they value most? What is it that they struggle the most with? First, too much time spent on administration. Second, too much time spent on new client hunting. And third, not having time to focus on what client wants. And what do clients want? Client-centered communication, predictive pricing, and immediate responsive innovation, because without that, you can't do it. So, according to the 2009 Legal Trends report by Clio, it was 60,000 Clio users whose data was used to make the research. In the US, an average lawyer spends 2.3 hours. Yes, only 2.3 hours per day on billable work. They realize they invoice only 1.9 hours out of this and only collect 1.6 hours of legal work. Well, what happens with the missing 6 hours? Well, almost half of it is spent on administrative tasks, and a third of it is spent on new client hunting. So law firms really need help with this. And legal technology is, of course, great help in this regard. And this already leads me to the third question that all businesses need to ask themselves on a regular basis. So the third one is, in what other ways could the value that clients want or desire be achieved? Well, the first legal technology tools that were available to lawyers improved efficiencies and focused on billing and time management and customer relations functions. And I have to say that there is still a lot to do because a vast majority of lawyers are still haven't implemented these solutions. The second wave is all the tools that digitalize legal research and case preparation and automated documents, stuff like that. The third wave of legal tech is the use of big data in the legal world as well. Well, some of you, the sports fan, may have seen the movie Moneyball about the Oakland Athletics team. Well, it was fascinating to watch, and not only because Brad Pitt played the manager, but it was really a fascinating story. And similarly to players of baseball and sports, lawyers and law firms can also be subject to statistical analysis, and also the outcome of cases will be predicted based on the predictive justice. But I wouldn't go that far, because for law firms, it's all very useful. Of course, it will be, and also for the clients and access to justice. But the vast majority of law firms are not even capturing their own data. They are not analyzing their own data of key performance indicators. So what I mentioned before, the utilization rate, the realization rate, and the collection rate, so how much they can actually collect from money. Well, so they cannot measure how efficient they do their core business. So this is all areas where legal tech and creatives can help lawyers a lot. Now, the fourth wave of legal tech is surely artificial intelligence. The promise of AI is like in the movie Limitless, with another favorite of mine, Bradley Cooper and Robert De Niro. He is playing a struggling writer who takes an illegal, or let's say secret drug, which gives him the ability to perform like 100% of his brain capacity. So he can basically improve his lifestyle and can learn anything in a matter of minutes. And this is what AI promises us with the help of computers. Okay, no pills, but computers. You may think that AI and other new technologies had relatively little impact on our lives so far. And yet very often it's right in front of our eyes, we just turn a blind eye. Humans are not capable to perceive exponential change. So for a long time, we are not taking AI seriously, and it seems as if progress is very slow, but then boom, it overtakes our wildest expectations. Now, as Orhan Harari also said, the electric light did not come from the continuous improvement of candles. Clients want to use all the new technologies to offer more efficient and cheaper service. Richard Susskind said that by 2020, law firms and most other professions will have a very clear choice. They will either compete with machines, or they will themselves build a machine that will compete with other machines. Changing corporate culture and the lawyer mentality is hard. And this is the biggest chance for all legal creatives. So remember to ask yourself regularly these three questions. What business are you in? what do your clients want and value the most, and what alternative ways could the same results be achieved. The future is full of outstanding opportunities, I think. Innovating technologies and business models not only helps us to become a bright, shiny digital version of ourselves, but we can also enable access to justice and affordable legal services to a vast and expanding client base currently with an unmet need. And it can be fun and creative at the same time. So it is time to think outside of the box. And as Alan Kay said, the best way to predict the future is to invent it. It is time to do so if we don't want to fade away like an old paper photo. And I trust that these online legal creative events will help you pierce the legal market and drill that hole in the wall of legal services, with or without a traditional door. So good luck.
Wow, that's wonderful, Orsolya. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here on the live and for sharing.
It's my pleasure.
That was very rich presentation. You really shared a lot of research and also some paths to follow in order to make this transition for the best for the people who want to access justice. But from what I understand from what you say, also for lawyers, as you say, to have fun, to be creative, and to
Absolutely.
So it's more like work smartly instead of work hard, maybe.
I completely agree with you. I mean, I think with all the digital tools and all the new technologies, we can really eliminate the part of our work that we like the least, which is boring, which is repetitive. And instead of spending time with those tasks, we can focus on, more value creation, really.
So I can't wait to continue this conversation with you in the online community. If you are interested in joining the Legal Creative Online community to continue sharing and with the participants, the live viewers and the replay viewers as well, it will be my absolute pleasure to continue exchanging. And I know the time is running and you have to go. It's late in Budapest, so I'm mindful of your time as well. And is there any last thing you want to share with the audience who is watching you live and on the replay?
I think the human factor is the most important, and it will be.
So let's focus on the human factor, powered by technology, maybe?
Yes.
Just like we are doing right now, we wouldn't be able to have this conference if it was not for technology, because we are so far away. So this is just an example of what we can do in a very simple manner to bridge the distance and in order to come together closer and to share those interesting topics. So thank you again, Orsolya, for your time, and I look forward to continuing exchanging with you. And all live viewers and replay viewers, feel free to join the community. I will talk more about that at the closing session so we can continue those discussions.
Great. Bye-bye. See you there.
Bye-bye, Orsolya.